started schooling, real schooling myself. And it is when you know that this is it. When I was at school, if anything happened with daddy and his wives, because he had many, I never worried myself about it because I was preparing for school search, ordinary school search. I knew that if I worried about anything happening back at home with those many wives at that time, school certificate will go. I still know that today. That as I'm in a school, right now, in a school of praying, learning, and training, if anything is happening outside there and I bother myself about it, I will not pass my exam. And you know, the exam of school search, only for a few days. The exam we have now is almost every day. On Thursday, they bring those people and they say, minister, come for examination. On Wednesday, they bring them and they say, here you are, counselor, come for examination. And if I don't prepare for that examination, and this is a tougher examination, because the examinations I took before, my teachers wanted me to pass, and they gave me all the help. The examination we are taking now, the devil doesn't want anybody to pass. And you know all that, and you put the armor by somewhere. As we were praying, there was a boy there. There was no bone inside one of the legs since 10 years ago. The mother had taken the child to UCH Ibadan, and the doctor said, well, sorry, there's nothing we can do, because if we make POP for this leg, the flesh will just rot away. It will be rotten because there's no bone inside to be able to carry it. And so the woman just dropped the child in the hospital premises and started weeping. A good Samaritan came and said, mother, don't weep. God will help you. Since 10 years ago, we were going to have this national stadium crusade, and the child was brought there. My brother, before that crusade, for 2 weeks, I didn't preach on Monday or Thursday because I knew examination was coming. I didn't counsel. Ordinary counseling. Sometimes I don't even come out at all. I did more than that when I was reading for school search. That's not strange. Ordinary school search. Till 3 a.m. I'll be studying ordinary school search. If I did that for school search and I'm facing a greater examination, are we foolish? When I was at the university, without taking Nescafe for anything, the eagerness of the exam is greater than Nescafe. Without taking Nescafe for anything, I can sit down for 7-8 hours. If I won't even know that time has gone. Sometimes food, I will feel that that food is a disturbance. Even friends, when we're reading for degree examination, I will sit like this in my room. You can play any type of music, either Jim Reeves or Christian music or anything. If I'm really preparing for exam, I won't hear at all. So if I've taken all those examinations before, and now I come to another exam period, and this one is more serious, the examination I took at university, who knew me? Even the lecturers in other departments did not know me. This examination at the stadium, all over the nation, they were watching. And you want to take an exam like that, and you just, psychedelic life, and just say, God will do it, God will, God doesn't stay by people who are lazy. So I didn't even know which message I will preach. And that's what happened to me in exams before, when we were at school. You will read this part, some mind will tell you it will come out. Then you go again, you read other parts. Some mind will say it will come out. You go again and read other parts. Didn't you take exam before? Because this was the first crusade to this category that we will do. You people who are here, if you were watching before, I never preached seriously at crusades before. Not seriously. The one we had at Crusades in 1979, you will know that I was there. I was leader, but I knew I wasn't evangelist. I never deceived myself. I knew I was a teacher. And the evangelists that I knew who could stir the people up, give them altar call, I put them there. If they make mistake, I correct them. I can mark their papers when they take their exam. The one we had at Afar Balewa Square, if you watched very well, to start with, I wasn't even at home when they started. When eventually they started, I came there and shouted a lot. Because you know, when the power is at a low level, shouting should make it up a little bit. Shouted a lot on the people. And thank God for his patience. But you know, this time now, I couldn't shift it on anybody. 6 days. And for those 2 weeks, I was just saying, oh God, all this publicity they made, and these people are coming. It is not that the exam you take and then you hear results after 1 month. They say you fail. The very night you take the exam, this one, that very night they see the failure there. You know, if you don't reason like I'm telling you now, you won't do Christian work. You'll just be playing, thinking that you are fighting the battle. And by the grace of God, we started that crusade. And this boy was brought, who had no bone in one of the legs. As we were praying, the child said, Mama, this leg is paining me. Mama said, just close your eyes. By the time we finished the prayer, the boy jumped up. Bone had come into the leg. Bone inside that leg. But it is not that there is a weapon in my hand which is greater than the one in your hand. It is that I will prepare like I'm preparing for exam. I will be diligent. I will not allow myself to just talk and talk and talk and talk. And I will really prepare. But you know, if we don't understand all these things, and we just say, well, God is on the throne. He's been on the throne before you were saved. He's always there. But to walk with you, one of those days that the message was still going on, a girl who had been lame, the hands were lame, the legs were lame, for about 6.5 years. While the message was going on, the girl jumped up and started walking. And the people started shouting where they were, where they saw that. And we prayed just simple prayer like this, and the eyes of the people got open. But I'll tell you that the first day that those miracles took place, for the second day, I said, God, only 1 day has passed out of 6, remaining 5. I became even more afraid. Because the people that saw what happened yesterday, they will be watching for what will happen today. And the second day we got there. And you know, I had to be asking God what message I will give. And I still do that today. In fact, I do that every time. Not just, you are lazy, you will not prepare, you will not do anything at all. The hammer is there, but you will not develop. If they put gun in your hand and you don't train yourself on how to handle the gun, or you have a car, the key is there in your hand and you don't learn how to drive it, or somebody manages to teach you, and eventually you get license. After getting license now, no more practice. You won't know how to drive very well. And as we continued, that day we prayed, and a Muslim man who had gone for operation in Britain, and the eyes were still blind, while we were praying. Now understand, when we have faith clinic at retreat, and people get healed, we preach faith to them, and by their faith, which we have preached to them, they get healed. That's different. That's different from when you have a crusade and an allergy is there, who, if he gets healed, is totally depending on your faith, because he says, nothing in my hand I bring. Only on the faith you have, not the one you are preaching, only on the one you have, on that is he going to get anything. And we started praying, and his eyes just got opened. On one of those days where the person who was lame, there were many of them. These are the ones I'm just remembering to tell you. When we finished, he was still lame. When he got into the bus, he was still lame. But we had prayed miracle prayer at the crusade field. And then when they called this bus stop and he wanted to take his sticks and get down, the power of God just struck him. Right there at the bus stop, he started walking. That's the power of God. You have the same weapon in your hand. But when I'm praying, you are eating. When some of us are locking ourselves up and really reading and studying and praying, knowing the mind of God, you have too many friends. Your friends are your enemies. Too many friends. This one will talk. This one will talk. And then you will talk. You are a man of society. You are not a single-minded man who knows that this work that is to be done, it will be done. And you see, if you are not willing to really labor like that, the desires will be there. The weapons will be there. But laziness will not allow you to be able to do what you ought